So now we're going to hear from Beth Stelzer. So Beth is the homemaker wife, mom, and an armature and armature powerlifter from Minnesota, founder of Save Women's Sports. She's traveled throughout the USA working to protect women's sports. And in a couple of years, Save Women's Sports has grown from a website to an international coalition that has influenced legislation. And we're really pleased to have you on, Beth, to hear what's happening in the States and internationally in the IOC Olympic Committee decision. So thanks for coming, and over to you.
So just a little bit about me, as Joe said, wife, mom, I'm an average American, right? And I got this kick to go be an amateur powerlifter. And I trained for like 2 years until I felt ready to be in the women's state championships. And there, a male basically ruined the entire event because he wasn't allowed to compete as a woman. So that's my peak trans moment. And that's when Save Women's Sports arose. I have started a free website. It's almost been 3 years now. And taken that, like Jesika, grassroots, just building it up post by post. And now we are testifying for laws. We're an international coalition of men and women, left and right. It's a hands across the aisle moment coming together for this one thing, and that's to protect women. I've testified in state hearings. We had over 40 states in the United States try to enter in bills. 9 of them became laws in the last year. So I've just been really working with my team. And as of last week, I did a live TV with Laura Ingraham, which was just like incredibly amazing. And I can't wait for more of us to get in that spotlight. All right, there I am testifying with one of my build sponsors in the background. So this is a picture of Charlotte Cooper, and she's one of the first women champions in the Olympics. We first competed in 1900 in Paris. 22 of the 997 athletes were women that competed in 5 sports. Now, since we jump forward, 2012, the games in London were the first games in which women competed in all of the sports. And since 1999, it's been a rule that any new sports have to have women's competitions added. In 2016, so just a couple of Olympics ago, 45% of the participants were women, and we're closing that gap now. In 2021, I'll add, was the first year that BMX bike racing was added to the Olympics for women. And so first year Olympic team for women in the USA, an alternate was a male. He almost qualified for the team. First year of a women's event in the Olympics. So that's why we are fighting. I won't get too deep into sex testing and testosterone because all that stuff really doesn't matter. We already know what defines a woman, right? But in the past, they've done cheek swabs for these athletes. They had to carry a little card with them. That was kind of like a DNA certificate that said what they were. Of course, now that's been dissolved, and we'll get into that in the future. A great reference, a super fantastic woman in this fight, Linda Blade. She has an awesome Twitter thread dated from April 3rd, 2020, that is all of the history of the Women's Olympics. I recommend you head over there. She goes way more in depth than this, so I'm just kind of skimming the top today. So in 2003 is when the Olympics first admitted, hey, there's a difference between men and women. We probably should keep the men out of the Women's Olympics, or at least have some kind of guidelines. At that point in time, they said that males needed full surgery in order to compete as a woman. We go to 2015, and there was an announcement made by a small panel of people, which included one transgender athlete and their FUI, if you can call it proof or evidence. They had self-reported studies from trans people. So basically, this was not scientific, peer-related evidence that the IOC board used in 2015 to create testosterone limits. As we all know, women are not a hormone level. Testosterone limits are not going to magically change you into a woman or dissolve those physical differences. their limit was 10 nanomoles a liter, which is really important. And that was only for 2 years. And in that 2 years, it's very easily to manipulate, to know when they're going to be tested. Testosterone limits can be easily manipulated. So there's really no way to tell that they were under 10 for those 2 full years. But a female normal range is around 1, 0.3 to 1. Even when a woman has a condition like polycystic ovarian syndrome, where they have a naturally higher testosterone level, that range goes up to about 6 on average. So this level of 10 is 3, 5, 10 times higher than what a normal woman has. It's just absolutely ridiculous that they can come to this conclusion. Now, today, after pressure we put on them, over 40 organizations came together to join a petition with Save Women's Sports a couple of years ago. We thought we were going to get in on this conversation. Nope, not given a seat at the table. Policy comes out, 2021, no limitations. They basically passed it off to underlying organizations to determine fairness in sports. So basically, summing it up, they abandon women. And as far as my team can tell, the medical commission of the International Olympic Committee was not even consulted for this. So we're digging into further, like, why would you not even consult your medical commission on this? Some of the reasons why we need to fight, most people are aware of Laurel Hubbard, who competed in weightlifting, a 40-year-old white male, privileged, who took the spot of 20-year-olds, some indigenous ladies. It's absolutely ridiculous. But also we have issues like Caster Semenya, who has a male disorder of sexual development that includes testosterone producing gonads. So it's still a thing. This is a male body in women's sports, and testosterone limits are not going to cut it. There's no compromise when it comes to protecting women. Men are even invading the Paralympics. Valentina Petrillo was racing there in track. Absolutely ridiculous. And if we all don't speak up, it is just going to keep evolving, and more women are going to lose their spots. We need to all speak up. Everyone needs to do their part, even if it is just on social media commenting or whatnot. But I encourage you to take that step further, make calls, write letters, stay active on social media. This isn't just for sports. This is for all of our battles, as I call them, branches of the tree. We all really need to step up and get a light shown on this so the media can't ignore us. In 2019, Save Women's Sports joined over 40 organizations, including Women's Human Rights Campaign, to send a petition to the Olympics. And like I said, their response sounded like, hey, we were going to get a seat at the table or be consulted when they were going to change these rules. And no, nothing. So we're working on our next steps further. That's beginning stages of how we're going to reapproach the IOC. We are in the beginning stages of a model policy for these underlying organizations to use, so that when they are curious about what the steps should be to protect women, we can point them to it. And a lot of these 40 organizations from that petition are going to come together and endorse this model policy, which I'm really excited about. We are working on protesting these events where males are competing as females. We're in the very early stages of that, but supplies will be available online soon. Females demand fairness, and we won't let them ignore us anymore. My bottom line there, we really do need your help and support, and you cannot assume that women like me have it all under control. I'm an average woman treading water. We all need help. You can't assume that I'm doing enough. If you feel the need to start your own website, start your own website. You know, be anonymous, don't be anonymous. Just do whatever you can. If you want to start a Save Women's Sports branch in your country, feel free to contact me. We're expanding out that way. I'm just going to leave you all with the emperor's not naked. He's not wearing a dress. He's wearing a swimsuit this time around. And it's time for all of us to point it out.